Glen Grant, a former Lieutenant-colonel in the British Army. Mr. Grant, sir, thanks for joining.
Nice to be here. Nice to be here, sir.
So let me just count it for you. So there is no ceasefire. There is no minerals deal, as this is an extortion, obviously. There are Russian missiles and bombs every day, and our children and soldiers and civilians die. Not to mention soldiers on the front line, of course. I've recently watched an interview with the former Soviet minister who lives in America today, well, of course. So he said, Ukraine should get itself a nuclear weapon now and not listen to anyone. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I think before we get a nuclear weapon, because it's going to take a few years.
Yeah.
More importantly, it's to actually to sort out the whole defense system. I mean, going back to what you just said about, the war is continuing. There's no peace. I mean, the deal from Trump is frankly I call it the USA deal of shame, because I don't think in modern times any country.
No.
In any country has ever asked another country to do something like that.
Well, he's not asking, Mr. Grant. Pardon me my intrusion. He's
threatening.
He's extorting. Yeah, exactly. He's threatening.
Bullying and threatening.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, but it's disgusting. But I mean, what it does, I mean, what it does do is it brings you forward to your question of do we need nuclear? Well, what you're saying is, do we need a nuclear deterrent? But it's too late for that now, for this war. There is no question. Now, maybe afterwards, because there are lots of countries now that are going to say,
right.
We cannot rely on US.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, what I would say is USA is not Trump. Trump is not USA.
That is right.
And the activities in US are bringing out an awful lot of world-class people who have been quiet. And it's going to bring a lot more of them to the fore in the coming weeks, because I think that Signalgate is just the start of the nonsense. I don't think that is the end. I think that once a lot of those people, especially in Congress, actually hear about the deal of shame, then there's going to be a lot more unhappiness, because they will realize that they are shamed with this. And I hope that we can get it into Congress and to any other good state in America where the governor is real and human, so that we actually get some political strength behind Ukraine about this deal, because it's disgusting.
Well, it is disgusting.
But we don't have time for don't have time for nuclear now, but we do have time, and we must still put the country on war footing. It's still not on war footing. I mean, just look at Kiev. Kiev's not on a war footing. I'm not against people enjoying themselves. If you're going to go and die next week, you might as well enjoy yourself this week. But when people are not going to die next week because they're not even involved in the war at all, or they're not doing anything, then that is a different matter altogether. So the country has got to get itself onto war footing. And that does, I'm sorry, but I've said it many times, it means using better people.
Exactly.
That the idea of just having your cronies and your friends doing stuff is just not good enough. It's not. It doesn't work.
That's the Soviet paradigm is still here. That's what I see. I mean, friends are all around, and this is totally wrong. It's a dead end, literally, might be even. So
yes,
yeah. I mean, and the answer to that has been given by you in our previous interviews. You said it clearly as a professional. The brigades, commanders that know what they are doing, somewhere in the middle, not the top, not at the level, not at the soldiers level, but officers who've been through the actual fighting on the front line should actually command it, and the office of the president should listen to them, maybe listen more than they do now.
Listen more, yeah.
But let me change the question. Yeah, I mean that's Signalgate.
Change the question.
Yeah, Signalgate. I mean. I don't know even where to start. I mean, Witkoff was there in Moscow, obviously,
yes,
opening this chat,
yes,
a national security chat with 18 most powerful men on earth, actually disclosing this information. And my question is, whatever that means. I know this is bad and negligence and so on, but if America is at war this day, do you believe that soldiers and admirals and generals like General Clark or I don't know Ben Hodges or colonels, your level, would follow Hexit? I know you're British Army, but anyway, I mean the officers would follow Hexit rules and orders?
I think the answer to that is yes, because it's
Right.
America.
Well,
Because I think that they are less political than perhaps many of my British colleagues would be or would have been. They're not so used to arguing with their bosses. I mean, I can give you many examples where I've gone in, I put my heel, as we say, put our heels together, stand to attention, and say, "Sir, I disagree with that," and argue and argue. And I, as a major, I went in to see the 4-star and argued about one of his decisions. And he, he basically said, "Well, that's my decision. We're sticking with it. It's political. Get out," sort of thing. But then I saluted nicely, and as I left, I said, "But you're still wrong, sir." Now,
really?
I
So,
very
what,
much doubt
oh,
that
no,
many
no.
of
What
my-
happened afterwards? What happened afterwards to your career? Nothing happened.
He
nothing.
told my boss, no, nothing happened to me. I mean, he told my boss I was a real monster. He said, "How do you manage
Right,
to work
okay.
with him? He's a real monster."
Monster.
And that with respect, I have to say, with respect. And I never had any problems with him dealing or talking to him afterwards. He always used to smile at me and say, because
Right.
because I'm going to say that Ben Hodges has said it a couple of times in interviews and things, that you need officers with who can understand when you have to disobey orders and who have the moral courage to do so. And I don't see so much of that in the US Army as perhaps I might. But I do know that there are many lawyers in and around America who have been approached by members of the armed forces asking clearly, what is an illegal order?
Wow.
So I think there are people who are clearly concerned about, Canada and Greenland, of whether those orders are actually, what looks as though it's going to come. I mean, I would shudder if I thought that people were actually planning those operations. But I have a sneaky suspicion they may be. Planning them without resigning. That's the thing, is planning them without resigning. Resign first and say, "No, sir, I cannot be party to this." Sort of thing. I'm going to find a job out in civilian life. Good day. If you want
Right,
to invade Canada,
right.
do so without me. And that sort of thing, that worries me. I mean, the paradigm with America has changed so much that it is almost unbelievable as it is at the moment. And I worry slightly because, I mean, I saw that the 3 Baltic, foreign ministers went to America, and they're all standing next to Rubio, full of smiles and saying, "What a good relationship we have." Great. I hope they told him in private, "This is disgusting and you shouldn't be acting like this."
I don't think so.
I don't know whether they did. I don't know, but I hope that they did, because what America is doing is beyond the pale, actually, at the moment.
Well, exactly as you said, it's not America. These people are doing that to America, and this is what will be the problem for another administration to solve. A whole lot of problem, tons of
Yes.
it. So, but for now, Trump. Do you believe that Trump is losing or will be losing influence by being unable to negotiate a ceasefire with Russia? Because Putin is, spitting.
Oh no, he's
into-
lost influence. He's got no influence with Russia. He gave
Right.
up all his influence things before he even started. I mean, there has been no negotiation with Russia about Ukraine. Let's be blunt about it. There's no negotiation. There's just, "Oh, that's what you want. Put it on a list. We'll take it to Ukraine." Because there's not a single compromise from Russia at all. Not one.
Yeah, exactly.
Not one single tiny compromise. That not, "We'll give you back this," or "We'll pull back," or "We won't do this." I mean, what they're saying, "We're not going to attack your energy facilities." So what do? They bomb houses instead and schools. I mean, that's not a compromise. That's just a switch of targeting for 5 minutes. But what did they get in reply? In opposition? They got
Right.
Ukraine promising not to attack them. But it was Ukraine that was doing the best job. So actually, Ukraine has compromised operational ability against Russia. So Ukraine's gone backwards, Russia has gone forwards. That's negotiation from America. Please God, if that's negotiation from America, don't let them get serious. Otherwise, we're really in trouble.
Right. Well, all right. Well, last question for tonight. But do you believe, sir, there is any viable way to achieve some sort of a ceasefire, really?
No. I mean, that's a short, sharp answer. No, not at the moment. I mean, if Russia goes for a ceasefire, then I think other people are in trouble because it means they want to do something else. And the only thing that they would do, I mean, if they go for a ceasefire, it's a ceasefire to do a little something and then to break it and blame
Right.
Ukraine,
Absolutely.
which is exactly what they're doing already. And we haven't actually done anything. So, you know, they people don't understand that they are intent on getting back their position in they see it in the world order. And the fact that Trump offers or accepts them having an ice hockey match with a banned team, banned by everybody in America, the possibility of Putin, a war criminal, going to meet Trump in the USA, has them in ecstatic in Russia.
Yeah.
Because they think they're
Quite
getting
right.
back in. Putin is getting back in despite the fact of killing, you know, hundreds of thousands of people and murdering and raping and everything else, and he's being accepted. So they don't need a ceasefire. They don't need a ceasefire. They're doing all right nicely, thank you.
Right.
Sadly.
Well, sadly, it is. We'll see what happens next week because every other week is like, oh my God, I thought the previous week was a nightmare. No.
Yeah, I thought the previous bit was mad. The
Right.
next bit, you know, look out, we could get worse.
We could get worse, actually.
So-
It's just another bottom.
It could get worse.
Right. All right,
Yeah,
Mr. Grant,
it's
thank you.
another bottom as well.
Yeah. Thank you so very much and for your time and brilliant expertise, and hope to
Yeah.
see you in person again in Kiev and maybe have another beer. Thank you.
You will, and soon. I should be
Great.
contacting you.
Let me know. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I will do. Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
And we're going to win, mate. We're going to win. Just remember that.
Thank you. We will.
Good.
Slava Ukraini.